well.
Good evening. We should be on stream, audible, hopefully. Please let us know if the sound balance is off or whatever. But yeah, here we go.
All right. So, good morning.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good morning. We find ourselves at the Blue Moon Fabrication Facility in a desperate struggle for survival, with some degree of self-inflicted woundage going on. At this point, you have grappled with the two individuals in question, not as effectively as you'd hoped. One of them is pretty well managed by John Arnsworth. However, the other one keeps on kind of wriggling free, to the point where Anston, in a moment of panic, pulled out his pistol to shoot said individual. I think Father Daniel was planning to interpose himself in the way of the bullets. I can't quite remember, but I think that was maybe. Luckily, though, Father Daniel didn't need to interpose himself between the gun and the person in question, because Atlanta shot himself in the groin.
In the tenders.
In the tenders, indeed. In his... in what we colloquially call the hygiene areas for our dog, which I think is particularly humorous. At the same time, you have ex-ghoulies. So there are 1,000 copies of the album in this facility, which is actually why you came here. No, that's right. The 1,000 are not here. They're in the shipping facility, which you have discovered the location of. What you've done here is destroyed the mold.
Master, yeah.
Yeah.
The one who ordered it is the mafioso, right?
Yes.
Wow.
John, and let me just make sure I say his name correctly. Paul Scully. There you go, Paul Scully. Now, technically, the master was not here. It was the mold that you broke, to be very careful.
Oh, okay.
So there is a master, there is the mold, and there is the 1,000 copies.
Right.
You know where the master is broken. It was actually broken. You found it broken when you arrived here. It was shattered on the floor.
Right.
You then used a knife, I think it was, Father Daniel, to destroy the mold itself that was in the press,
which made a lot of noise, attracted the attention of the bad guys. Well, the slightly
the broken
people.
Guys.
Yeah, and
you have located. You know where to go to find the 1,000 copies and destroy them, but you have, as this point, not done so.
Just to explain, these are copies of a jazz record that seems to be having a very, very bad influence on anybody who hears it.
Correct.
It completely steals their song.
Yes.
It does. And we find ourselves in the midst of conflict. We actually stopped the last session right after Atlanta had shot himself in the groin. If you remember, I was running the combat as player facing, so I was not rolling dice. So we find ourselves. So we find ourselves in mid combat. Atlanta collapses back with the sound of a large gunshot going off in what is actually, basically a big echo chamber. So that kind of makes a big noise even at the best of times. And I think what I'm going to do is ask John Arnsworth what he would like to do at this point.
Okay, so I'm pinning someone to the ground till now.
Yes, but do you want to do more than pin now that you can see this is all going very wrong?
Yeah, I want to try to knock him out.
I think that sounds very wise.
Yeah, taking from the teaching of Father Lagba, I don't want to kill him. Maybe just knock him out.
Yeah, but I am going to slam his head into the concrete floor until he stops moving.
Just to give him a headbutt or something.
Right. Well, considering we were just talking about Glasgow, in Australia that would be referred to as a Glaswegian kiss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas in Glasgow, they call it a Melky.
Right, a Melky. There you go. Well, on that note then, John Arnsworth, could you roll for me your, I think it's force? Yes.
Yeah, force, and I am exhausted, so I will...
Reduce by 1 die, please.
Yeah, force.
Now you've successfully had this guy grappled though, and you've not lost control of that at all, so you definitely are starting with advantage, so add an additional dice for basically already having the guy pretty much kind of wrapped up.
Other than,
so effectively it cancels out. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling my normal base die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see go. Come on.
Yes! 6. All right, so you grapple with this guy, and it's completely up to you. Are you headbutting him? Are you slamming his head into the concrete?
No, I just headbutt him.
Right,
into the concrete.
All right, so you go boom and stun this guy into unconsciousness. And now what I'm going to do, so that's one of the 2 individuals taken out. I think I might go to Amadeus at this point. The doctor, he sees Atlanta collapse away from the combat.
There's
and obviously the loud sound of a firearm.
There's only one hoodlum left, right?
Yeah, well... individual suffering advanced dementia, but yes, hoodlum is another way of describing them. Yes.
No, I'm gonna see whether I can patch up Atlanta because he looks like he's losing blood quickly.
Okay, so Daniel, it's you and the one guy at this point. Anyway, we'll get there in a sec. Amadeus, you cease to engage in this conflict and move rapidly to Atlanta's side, where you can see blood pooling in their waist as they've shot themselves in the groin and near, various vital arteries.
Yes.
Can I get a medicine roll, please?
Absolutely. Not promising that it's going to be a good one, but you can have a medicine roll. Can I have my 2 for my medicine bag?
I believe you can.
Okay. So go then. Yeah. 2 6s.
Oh, 2 6s. Okay, all right, that's good news. By the way, I do like the new coloured dice thing that rolled.
I will actually remember your setting.
I brought back coloured dice. Show me.
You just look at my. I just cleared it. When you select your dice, you can basically select the color underneath it.
So you can make items clear and do a few other things.
You can do dice pools like Forbidden Lands and stuff if you want to.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's quite good actually. I like the idea. I am gonna run June. I think I am gonna run June. Yes, I'm gonna run June, and I'm gonna tell myself that 7 times.
Can I play?
Yeah, could you just get up at 5 a.m. and run June for us? That'd be great. Maybe. I bought the new House of the Landstrad, and I'm actually pretty inspired. It's really good. Anyway, so you rapidly, sort of pull out gauze and other things and place them on the wound, steadying the bleeding. The good news is, Atlanta, you are no longer at risk of dying from your crushed genitals, to quote the line in the critical role table. However, you will be suffering a -1 to your agility. I think, is that... Oh, no, that's not permanent, is it? Oh, no, it can become permanent. That's right. You roll at the end of the scenario to see whether it's a permanent effect or not. Anyway, we'll deal with that in a sec. For now, you are suffering a -1 to your agility, and you have incontinence as a defect. All right.
It doesn't come with an insight, does it?
No.
No.
The insights are the ones you can get, but they're very terminal.
Yeah. You can get insight living dead if you suffer a spinal injury. There you go. Prophetic visions traps in at 61.
Right.
Okay. So you're placing the gauze on, holding sort of gauze and other things on Atlanta to stop them bleeding out. You can, I think it's reasonable to say, you can use the extra success to actually heal some of his conditions. So I think it would be reasonable to do that as well.
Excellent.
So,
do that.
So I'm no longer broken.
You are no longer broken. Not only are you no longer broken, I think you can take one more away as well. Seems reasonable.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2. I'm not giving you 3, which is what you normally get. So,
2, right.
so broken is one of the 2, and then remove.
I've got to still be wounded, haven't I? But maybe I will take away exhausted.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's punchy full of amphetamine.
Yeah,
that's
that must
right.
be the special ones I gave you.
The
Special
ladies,
examples.
pick me up. Remember, this is the period where amphetamines are being sold to housewives to give them a pick me up, for the hard day's labour. I've read those ads; they're quite amazing. Daniel, you are looking pretty broken at this.
I'm not broken. I'm just quite. There you go. Just sorry, just letting the cat out.
No worries. What are your conditions currently? How many are you?
I've got 3 physical conditions, so I'm wounded, exhausted, and the other one.
You're a wreck.
Battered. Yeah.
So you can kind of surrender the ground to this guy.
Yeah.
In effect.
Yeah, I'm trying to back away from him, basically.
Yeah, because you're not really in a scenario where you can pitch up.
I can't do anything. So I'm literally backing up. I'm trying to like herd him or back him up in a sort of way to keeping him away so he won't lash out at anybody else. And if he does lash out, he's going to lash out at me, and I'm just going to try to get out of the way.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of matadoring him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stepping away, but I'm waving to keep the attention on me, kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So that being the case, I'm going to roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's how I'll do it. Okay, what is it? Hell. Okay, he is still going for Atlanta. So.
Okay, I'm going to get in the way.
Okay, so you hurl yourself in the way of this guy who's desperately crawling, clawing towards Atlanta, fixated obviously on something about Atlanta. You don't know what.
It was the boomstick.
Sorry?
It was the boomstick.
It was the boomstick. It's the smell of blood.
Yeah.
Can I get
a force roll?
I think a force roll, unless you.
I can definitely give you a force roll. Unfortunately, I have to remove 3 dice.
Giving me 1.
How many have you got left?
He's got 1.
Well, it's a 1 in 6 chance. Let's think positive. I'm going to turn it into a red dice.
I think that's wise. Yeah, go there.
Let me do it. I'm going to get.
There it is.
There you go. A nice red dice, because obviously red is the colour of broken.
Yeah.
Red is the colour of hope. And no, it's not.
And love
it's the
and
colour
blood.
of broken. So I will get broken then, I'm guessing.
You will get broken then. So you hurl yourself in the way of this guy who smashes you to the ground, and starts. I think he's got Daniel. And look, I'm gonna roll.
Do I roll the D66?
D66, and look.
Oh, you're gonna roll it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, you can.
If you
can
push
roll
yourself, you don't get a D66, do you?
I can't push myself, so I can't take another condition.
Pushing.
Yeah.
Although,
Maybe I'm mixing this up with Forbidden Lands.
No, you're right. I don't think you can get a critical from a push. We worked that out last time. But I am doing player-facing combat, so I think either way you're kind of you're on the way to broken, which means you're on the way to a critical because it's the middle of the combat. Would you like to roll, or would you like me to? Okay, then over to you, blue leader.
66. Oh, 62!
Oh, 62! Spinal injury.
Are you lucky?
Oh, and hey, if you at the end of this, should you survive,
I get insight.
Yeah, no incompetence for you, buddy.
That's good narrative for Father Lagba.
Yeah.
It is if I survive.
All
have
right,
to
so
run over
you
there.
see this guy smash Father Legba to the ground, and I think sort of there's boxes and other things lying around on the floor. There's large mechanical equipment, and he's actually literally smashed Father Legba over the the kind of lintel or the edge of a box like this, and you hear a crack sound, and Father Legba goes limp. Which does not sound good. All right.
Well, yeah, your D6 days, I get a D6 hours.
Yeah, you get D6 hours, and if you survive, you do get an insight. Living dead.
With +3 stealth, which is awesome for me because I got high stealth anyway.
He's like a ghost.
Don't count your chickens.
Ghost in a wheelchair. All right.
Yeah.
All right. It's back to you, John.
Yeah, seeing
You see
this.
this guy grab Father Legba and just snap him effectively over the edge of this box. Amadeus is holding the gauze on Atlanta's groin, looking up in horror. Atlanta is kind of groggily coming to, and it's down to you, buddy. What do you do?
Yeah, seeing this, probably pull a crowbar that I have,
Right.
and ignoring Father Legba's teaching, I'll probably just try to hit this guy who attacked
just
Father
smash this
Legba.
guy in the head with the crowbar to make it end. Okay, awesome. Can I get a? I think it's still force. I think so, but you get bonus die for the crowbar. So
okay, so it negates the exhaustion.
I think it's
that I
minus
have.
2 die. So it'll be
2 or 1?
So it'll be 2. I think for the crowbar. So that'll add 1 additional die. Noting you're already down 1. Yes.
Okay, so let's roll.
I don't even want to look. Oh, there's success at the end.
1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, and then 5 and 6 at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
So okay, so 1 success.
Okay, so so please describe exactly what this looks like. Like this guy is crouched over Father Legba. You're above him with the crowbar.
Yeah, and with the curved end, and probably just hit him in the back of the skull with my force.
So
So you smash into this guy. You hear a cracking sound, and the crowbar kind of sinks into the side of his head. He spasms violently underneath the crowbar, and you know that this guy is not getting up in a very specific way. I am going to ask you to make a fear roll because you've actually just killed someone.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty appropriate. Yeah. So let's see if you take
roll my I am frightened, so I'll remove 1 die. Oh, I forgot how to remove. Oh, sorry. Okay, so 2 die.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Take a mental condition, please.
I will take hopelessness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm breathing. I'm breathing heavily, and I'm shaking, and I'm breathing heavily.
Yeah, and this guy is literally kind of spasming from the wound, right? Because it's a head wound. He's spasming, like he didn't instantly die on the ground. So at this point, we're kind of out of combat. So Father Legba's sort of lying broken on the ground. You've got the gauze over Atlanta's wound. John Arnsworth is sort of standing above this person with this crowbar, which is now wet at the end with this person. There's another person lying unconscious. And this is where we find ourselves. I think the next action, assumedly, is Amadeus moving from saving Atlanta's life to saving Father Daniel's life.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm in high demand today, so I just said to her, hold this, and I run across.
Right.
Put pressure on it.
Another medicine wound, please.
Medicine roll.
Who said medicine was a useless skill? Not me.
Nobody should.
Nobody should. So useful.
There's only one success.
There it is. There's that 6. Yeah, but only one success is all you need to stop him from dying. So that's a win. Okay, so spinal injury. It didn't. I guess you can still. Well, you're not dying, but you're still broken, Daniel. At this point. Okay. So, there's been a gunshot in this area, so you know at some point police might come. Noting you're up the sort of industrial end of Harlem. What do you want to do now, guys? So you've sort of broken the mold. There's the unconscious guy, the other 2 people, the dead guy, and you guys.
We know we got, admittedly I can't talk at the moment, but we know we've got 3 places to go. We've got the warehouse on 1672 Wendell Avenue. We've also got, one's gone to Scarlotti and one's gone to Cliff Perkins.
Yeah, that's right.
I deal with the mass first.
Amadeus, did we come in your car or did we walk here?
I can't remember.
I think
we walked.
Pull up the map.
I think we walked. Yeah, I don't think we're driving around in the car.
I'm pretty sure you were pretty close.
Somebody fetch my horn.
What's closest? Because I mean, the most records are the shipping facility.
Go and fetch my horn.
Yeah, you need your horn, definitely. Yeah.
The fabrication facility was right on the river, that's right. And the question was, what's closest? Not Scarlotti, he's right at the other end of Harlem, down south. And Casper was pretty close at Blue Moon Recording Studios. He's across the river and a couple of blocks.
We already went to the Blue Moon, I guess.
And the
We've been to the Blue Moon recording place, haven't we?
I'm just going to flick up the map to remind you. So you're... See if I can... Oh, that's right. I've got to draw. Sorry.
Oh, the map looks different.
It does. It's the other map.
But you are here at the moment.
Right.
And Scarlotti is right down here at the bottom end. Oh, it's not letting me draw that far south. Okay. Good on you. And then, where is it? Up here. And this is where Blue Moon was.
Okay.
So you're basically just across the river along this bridge and then along there. But you may want to go somewhere and rest up.
Shipping facility.
Oh, I'm playing my horn while these guys are looking at the map.
I'm not looking at much at the moment.
Yeah. Can we go to the not the hospital, the armory? Maybe
I got
we can...
2 successes. They don't count for myself, do they? I don't think.
Well, you can inspire other people.
Yeah, you can inspire others. That's right. They don't count for you.
So is that 6 conditions generally?
It's mental, isn't it?
Yes, it's mental conditions.
Yeah.
That is correct.
How can I recover my exhausted?
That's a physical.
That's a physical, so it actually requires rest. I think is the answer. You need to go to the storage space.
So interacting with your memento doesn't allow you to do physical, right?
Yes. Your memento is a mental condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Atlanta rule, should we recover any mental?
If you've got any mental conditions, you can, between you, the 3 of you, you can lose 6 of them.
Yeah, I guess Father Lagba, I have 2 only mental condition till now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember.
How are you doing, Amadeus?
Mentally, I'm okay. I don't need anything.
Okay.
That's right, it was the production ledger.
Father Legba.
That gave you the address. Right. So, where's that production ledger? There it is.
So
It's this one, I think.
it's 3 per success for the inspiration.
162. That was it there, wasn't it?
I need to
I have to
zoom
zoom
in.
in as well.
That.
That's a bit tiny.
Yeah, it is a bit tiny. Let me
Production
just
ledger, I
see.
can't really read a lot, but forwarding name, that column, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the last one. Verdane, 162,
Paul Scarlatti.
Paul Scarlatti, and Cliff at Blue Moon offices. So did
Those were the ones.
he say he had
And
one?
162 went something Avenue is where the warehouse facility is.
Yeah,
Yes.
Wendell. What was it? East.
Wendell Avenue. Yeah,
Okay,
no,
read
that sounds right.
But yeah, I think that's the bulk of them. I mean, to contain the biggest threat, that's where we should be going, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, but for now you are resting. So can I please... So you've done 6 conditions. You've all taken advantage of that. Can I get... I think it'll be the doctor. Do you want to do some actual sort of...
Treatment.
a proper medicine roll to see how many conditions you can help the guys recover?
I'll try my best. So again,
Can,
Oh, that's right. It was this part. It was this map I was using before.
can you only do that on John? Because you can't just roll sequential medicine on everybody and recover.
if we take a
I don't
break,
think.
don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I think if you take a break, it's fine.
Up to you guys. I'm just rolling. That would be 4 successes.
So we're resting here for a shift at least.
A shift, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So that's
we're
four
not escaping
successes.
before we scan.
4 successes.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is 12 conditions, which basically should bring everyone back up to full recovery, I think.
So I'm handing over
Obviously, it
some-
was only a bruised back.
It was obviously only a bruised back. That's right.
Do you not? You retain your.
keep the critical, I think.
You say
I keep the critical. Yeah.
You keep the effect of the critical. So -1 agility for Atlanta.
And
Not +3
Felt
stuff.
like it was broken.
I'm +3 stealth for me.
+3
For how-
stealth.
For how long the agility, -1 agility?
Until the end of the scenario, and then there's, I think, a roll
A
to see.
defect
whether it's
roll.
permanent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then if it's permanent, it's permanent. Self-evident.
Yeah, but the defect only affects you once per session, and the GM describes when.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yep. And same with insight. Insight is only once per session.
Okay, so you guys bunker down at the armory, maybe? Is that where you go?
It's our safe
Yeah.
place, isn't it?
The safe place, that's right, yep. Okay, so so you guys know where the last copies are. There's a copy just at Casper's joint, which is just near where you actually are. There's a copy down at Paul Scarlatti's office. These are not masters, though. These are copies. And then there's obviously the 1,000 records at the storage facility, which I think is here. I think that's where we worked it out to
I
be.
need to get the card, the map back up. Which one is
there.
it?
I'm moving the red thing around. Hopefully it's moving a little bit.
No. I've got a
Okay, all right. Hold on. I'll draw it in green.
You can give me the coordinates, and then maybe that helps.
There? No?
I think you're on a different map.
Oh, I thought I was showing you a different map. My apologies.
You're showing us the
No,
white map.
We're on the original map. not the one that you just showed us.
Yes, that is correct.
It's got pot written on it.
Yeah, so up just below where Casper is, right up in that far corner, you should see a green and red
and red circle.
So you're talking about
you're in orange now, that one.
D2.
D1.
Yeah, if you use the coordinates, D2.
That's where we used it. Oh, sorry, yes, D2. Yes, sorry, I get it now. I know which coordinates you're referring to. My apologies. So there. So you can go there to attempt to destroy the things. What do you want to do?
I want to go destroy the thing.
Let's destroy the thing.
That is an anathema.
Okay.
Yes, we should. I'm a bit scared of mad people. Oh, by the way, when we got out of the warehouse, I dropped my gun in the river.
Okay, that's it. I'm done with firearms. All right.
Never
Probably
again.
good because you've been dragging around a murder weapon now for a year, so it's not a bad idea to get rid of it.
No.
Because I'm pretty sure you shot some people with that gun at one point. Or did you steal that gun from an Italian mafioso?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's interesting decision. All right, so you guys recover. I'll also let you recover a mental condition each in addition. So that's from resting, and a single physical condition as well from
Why
resting.
is he being so nice to us?
Because we're going to die.
Because we're going to a warehouse full of mad people.
You're so negative. So
I'm feeling hopeless at the moment, so I'll get rid of angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so what do? So you can go to the facility. There's no issue with that. Is that your intention?
This is to destroy the 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
Okay. First, we took we removed mental condition using Atlanta's inspiration, and okay. So I'm fully recovered now, physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
You've recovered from killing that person.
Yeah, probably not.
It's like it never happened.
At the armory, is there anybody who works?
Hearted bastard.
There is someone who works at the armory. Yes. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, the other way around. At the armory, is there somebody there who works at the distribution place, or knows somebody who works at the distribution place? Somebody with inside knowledge?
No.
Shame.
It's actually not really it's distribution in the sense that it's a storage facility.
Yeah.
Storage of
warehouse.
Warehouse storage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no.
So the traditional way of dealing with 1,000 albums is to burn them.
Or
Yeah.
crush them.
However, we have learned, some of us have learned, that burning things is not a way to behave in Harlem in the 1920s. So,
And it can get you hung.
That's right.
Exactly.
Result in hanging. Mind you, shooting people can also result in hanging. So can putting crowbars in the sides of people's heads.
Yeah.
I think
Walking
being
down the
back
street.
in New York in the 1920s can result in hanging.
Yes, that is also true.
Absolutely.
So, once again, I ask you, what do you want to do?
Let's go to the facility.
Yeah, let's sort them out first.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
get
we
them.
can get into the single
Get the
cops
other
later.
two. We've got two others to get rid of them.
Are we going?
Unfortunately, one's with a racist.
Hold on. John. No, not John. Amadeus. Is there any way we could take your car to the facility, fake some paperwork that says, I've got an order here, I've got to pick up 1,000 records, 78s, for distribution.
We can try, but I'm not very good at forging paperwork. And it's not like a lorry or some truck.
I mean,
it's not like a
going
truck.
in
Is
there
it?
guns blazing, because that doesn't work.
Can we ask Mama Jude for some help?
Yeah, we could.
Or maybe we can-
Forging. What would forging be under?
Well, in
Special
terms of
talent.
an actual skill,
Inspiration, I think.
Artistry.
Yeah. That's where I...
Because sleight of hand and that sort of type of stuff is under, because we have a precision type skill, I would have thought.
Yeah, so
stealth.
I would put stealth as kind of the badge carrier for a lot of that sort of thing. But I think if you're actually trying to forge things, I think I'd probably look at inspiration for the more artistic end of the equation.
Well, yeah, okay. Or you could do
can we
stealth
do
and to make it.
inspiration, but mixed with the precision attribute rather.
Yeah,
Inspiration, skill, precision attribute.
Can do that as well. Or you could do stealth to make it and inspiration to get through with it.
Oh no, that's manipulation, I think, to get through with it. All right, but
Let me have a go.
Are you going to do that?
Turns out I'm a bit of an artist.
We're having the contract.
We have all the numbers. The order numbers. We've got the stationery.
Yep. The
Now I've got to take one dice away. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I'll take one dice away because I'm not quite as precise as I am empathic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take another dice away because I've got a condition.
Is that a physical condition?
It's not a physical condition. It's a mental condition.
No, I think that's fine. You can keep the die.
Oh, thank you. You're being very generous. I'll get a green D6. There we go.
Nice.
And I'll roll those dice to see how well I can. We've got all these other bits of paperwork that we've collected, so I think I can make some stuff.
Well, you've actually got like the manifest. You've got handwriting examples from Casper and the fabrication unit and other things. So, yeah.
Oh, and I've probably got some letter from the nightclub owner who's invested in all of this.
Yeah, the Bolito King.
Bolito King. Yeah.
What's his name? It's here, not Wendell. Cliff Perkins. Oh no, hold on, that's the owner.
That's Cliff Perkins, the owner.
It's
Wendell
Casper
Young.
Holstein. Casper Holstein.
Yeah.
Is the Bolito King. My apologies. So yes.
So I'll rig something together that looks, totally made up name. Blue Holstein distribution or something like that. Holstein Blues distribution. Whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Let's get one success.
I got a success.
Okay, so I think he actually has a formal company name, which is like Holstein Recording Company or something to that effect. I would have to go back and look at all the notes to find it, but it did have a formal name.
That's the one I used.
So, yes. Oh, here it is. It's on this one.
And from the armory, can we get a couple of sets of overalls?
Yes, you definitely can get a sets of overalls.
And the
Holstein Recording Company. That's
men.
That's the name of the company.
Drop the other two off at the corner and go there in Amadeus's car.
I guess we need a bigger car. We need a truck at least.
Gonna need a bigger
It's
car.
only 1,000. We can tell them the truck's broken down and we've borrowed one.
Don't think you'll fit 1,000 records in a car.
No, we will need a truck if we can. Can't call it a lorry in New York, can we?
All right.
Can I use some sort of contacts in my community contacts to get a lorry either at the armory or somewhere else?
Or the vicar.
Yeah, you can certainly. Yeah, the Father Daniel can reach out into the broader community.
See if anybody has got a truck that the church can borrow to move some furniture.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you roll. That's fine. You've got the truck.
There you go. Sorted.
Be careful with it.
Yeah,
Who's driving?
It's not actually mine. All right, so that's a good question. Who's driving?
It's driving an agility-based skill.
Yep.
I can't remember.
Right,
Probably
not
me.
me then.
In Blade Runner, it's
I should
extra
have
skill.
knocked off the
But
second one for the fact that
It's
my
agility. I think it's just agility. So literally agility.
Yeah, I
not
have
the best
7
at it.
dice.
I don't think my leg's good at changing gear at the moment.
I've got a
Probably
grand
I
total of
try.
2.
So John Arnsworth is driving, I think is where we've landed.
Yeah.
So who are the 2 that are in the truck and who are the 2 you're dropping off on the corner?
I'm being dropped off. I'm guessing.
The Amadeus and the Doctor, I'm not sure
You're not sure they can pull off.
they can pull off the working man as well as.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be
Right.
dropped off then. If
Me
I'm
and John.
too posh for you, then I'll just get out of the
Yeah.
truck, shall I?
Yes, I'll get out the truck as well.
The guy in the cassock and the guy in the suit get dropped on the corner, and the 2 people in the overalls go, I
Very
think we can do a better
classist.
job of this bit. Yeah, that is indeed classism right there. So, with that in mind, you are in the truck, you drop them off on the corner. You're kind of, effectively, you're just in a row of storage facilities, for want of better language. Like, there's just, like, distribution center is quite a glorified title. Like, these are sort of 20, like, the actual facility itself is like, what would it be in
Look up.
meters?
Don't tell me imperial measures.
Like 6 meters sort of long and about 3 meters wide. So it's basically
Okay.
like a shipping container kind of sized
It's a block-up.
object. Yeah. However, as you pull up, you can see that the door to the storage facility, the roller door, whatever, is up, and there's 2 guys kind of sitting out the front of it, kind of sitting on chairs, smoking away. They are not African American. They are looking very Italian, sort of smoking there. They're in kind of wise guy kind of suits, so big puffy shoulder kind of story, white shirts, rolled up sleeves, sort of smoking, sitting on chairs out the front.
I can approach them with all the humility I can muster and look at my fake paperwork and say, is this Warehouse 14?
Yeah, it is. Who are you?
I'm here from Holstein Distribution. I'm going to be picking up some records.
Yeah. Hold on. Holstein. So, no, you don't understand. Look, you go back and tell Holstein he's out.
Skeleton.
He's out.
He's out. Mr. Scarlotti.
Listen, I've got to pick up these records.
Well, mate, not my problem. Mr. Scarlotti is now the senior partner in the thing. Holstein's got no call on it.
But I got this paperwork.
Yeah, I don't care, mate.
Don't you even want to see it?
Nah.
I put a good effort in it.
I spent hours getting this goddamn tea right. This tea was hard. No.
Now, I'm a simple man. I say, tell me exactly what I say to Mr. Holstein.
Mr. Scarlotti has bought into the business, and unfortunately, Mr. Holstein, or Casper, he says it with a particular kind of dismissiveness, is out. He's just
He's
out.
out of the business. So can I tell him?
Mate, you can tell him whatever you want, but if you stay here for much more than the next 1 minute, I'll tell you what, you won't be telling him much at all. And he kind
I'll
of
get back in the truck.
pats his pocket when he says
Do you
that.
know what's going to happen to these records then?
Well, yeah, we're going to, exactly what Mr. Holstein would have done as well. We're going to sell them.
Do you need them delivered anywhere?
I like it.
Yeah, we just need the money.
Fine, whatever. I'm just here to deliver stuff, man. Do you need deliveries, mate? I'm your guy. Is now the official motif that we're going with. I'm just a delivery worker. He looks taken aback by that question. Well, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'm not working for Holstein any longer, and I rip up the contract.
Just tear it up in front of him.
But, you know, I got to put food on the table for my young ones. John here, yeah, his family got to eat as well. All we want to do is some work, sir.
Yeah.
Don't care
And we
who
don't
they're
follow any
working for.
unions.
Holstein or Scarlatti, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we will do it for the half the price, just for Mr. Scarlatti.
I'll see.
I look at you slightly annoyed, but at the same time, I shrug my shoulders and say, yeah, half the price.
All right. Can I get a manipulation roll, please?
Make it a good one.
I think I'm going to apply a dice penalty to it.
Okay.
Can John assist?
To be upfront, you're getting less minus die than I would have otherwise given you because you've torn up the contract and, you know, people are offering, you know, left, right and centre to sell things out. I think you've still got, yeah.
Can I assist or?
Yeah, I guess so. So that's one die from John's, you know, helpful input about halving the price of delivery.
So what's my minus, did you say?
Minus a die.
So,
basically, you're neutralised.
That's where I was.
Yeah, you're basically back to where you were.
One success?
Look, it's Vaesen, so one success is enough, right?
You can do it as
It
an
can be
opposed
an
roll.
opposed roll if they want to use their
Insight.
Yeah, I think insight. I think insight would be good. Let's go.
or no, it's not insight in this game. Shit, can't remember.
But it doesn't matter.
Pretty sure it is.
Vigilance?
It's vigilance.
Oh,
Vigilance,
same
yeah.
difference. Really shouldn't do that. Call the skills different all the time.
Yeah, it's unhelpful. Okay. Yes. He looks for a second. He goes, actually, yeah. Hey, you know, hey, Paulie, what do you reckon? You know, we've got to get this stuff shipped out. These guys are here. You know, it's. Yeah, look, all right. They go back in, come out with a shipping register like the one you saw at the imprint facility. It's got all these, you know, locations on it all around town. They kind of bring out like piles of these records. Well, actually, sorry, they don't bring out anything. What am I saying?
No.
You're going to carry
No,
that.
what am I saying? Sorry, that was all wrong. Yeah, all right. Here's the shipping sheet. You just got to drive around. Some of the stuff's got to go to the harbour to get shipped to Chicago, but a lot of it's just got to be run around town to various shops and other places.
I look both disappointed at the amount of work that I'm being given, but also resigned to the fact that I'm going to have to do this amount of work, even at half the money.
And once you've done all that, you go to Mr. Scarlatti's office.
He's going to give us $40. John said, "Can we take 20 or maybe 10 in advance and tell them we've done it?"
Just put the gas in the truck.
I'm laying that on not to get $10, but
they kind of reach into their pockets, and one guy kind of pulls out his pockets and makes the whole, you know, oh, my pockets are empty, it's so sad movement, and the other guy, who seems somewhat less proficient at palming money while reaching into pockets, sort of pulls out a $5 note. Look, here's enough for the petrol, and you just go to Mr. Scarlatti's office with your. We'll tell him, and then he'll pay you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. But it's gas in this country, not petrol.
Don't argue with him.
He looks at you angrily and says, "Mate, I grew up in Australia and I shipped out." No. He's Italian by way of Melbourne. But anyway, he gives you the money, and you now have like effectively 1,000 records to ship around. Harlem
into the ocean.
Into the ocean. That's right. 1,000 records to ship to the ocean.
So we'll go around the corner, pick up our extra passengers, and
that's the last we'll ever see of those records.
Yep, as we smash those records to pieces.
Yeah. All right, so this leaves you with the conundrum. There are 2 records in existence. And by the way, I should probably explain that was actually meant to be a gunfight, but I figure we've already had one of those. We don't need a second one. I did find it funny that you threw away your pistol just before you actually were about to go to the actual gunfight, but, there it is. So you've destroyed the records. There's 2. They're not masters, so they can't be kind of replicated, but there's 2 copies left. One at Scarlotti's office and one at Cliff Perkins' address at the Blue Moon Gramophone Company.
I haven't got the chutzpah to go to Scarlotti saying, "I've done the job."
to get
pushing
you
lucky.
To get you $20.
Yeah, I think Italians can describe people, even if they might say that we all look alike. I think they may be able to describe me, as the guy.
Well enough. The guy with the limp. That's right.
So maybe it shouldn't be me that goes to Scarlotti's office.
All right. So there are. So what do you want to do, guys? So you've destroyed the records.
We can talk
Did you actually break them all individually? What did you do with the records? Did you burn them? Did you throw them in the river? Just out of interest, where did the records?
I got the impression that Father Daniel was sitting in the back of the truck with a hammer, breaking them, and then we were depositing them in the river.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Okay, so you've done that. The records are destroyed.
Do we tell Casper Holstein, our erstwhile person that we were doing the work for, that Scarlotti has cut him out of the business, or did he already know?
No, he doesn't know.
He did not know.
Because currently Scarlotti, we need to deal with Scarlotti somehow, but we also need to deal with Cliff Perkins. Now, Cliff Perkins is the asshole in
the recording studio.
Yeah.
Recording studio. Blue Moon Gramophone Company.
The somewhat racist recording studio owner. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. If he won't most probably be listening to the music.
I will just gently remind you that Cliff Perkins actually was the person who changed the contract and removed Holstein's name, although you can infer at Scarlotti's request. But they are both somewhat implicated in the removal of Holstein.
We could go and tell Mr. Holstein. I think that'd be a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do that first of all. Let's just see how he reacts.
Yep.
Could he maybe go to Scarlotti and demand, let's see how we can manipulate him. But anyway.
So, Casper is at 234 West 138th Street. And
That's the other side of Harlem, did you say?
Yeah, I think, did we not work out it was kind of, oh no, that's Sugar Hill. I can't read these things. I don't know how Americans work out what streets things are on. Does my head in. Hold on, I'll just look at the actual map on my on my laptop. Because it'll have the location just marked on the map. Thus saving you the trouble. Come on. Scroll up. There we are. Sugar Hill, unnamed speakeasy. Casper Holstein's office is... Oh, that's right. It's right above where Pop is. That's right. I remember that now. Because you went down the Pop's joint. So it's kind of around about... Yeah, just 134th. There it is. Found it. Okay. So I'll just draw. It's approximately there. Sorry, bad choice of colour.
I think I can see it. Is it orange? Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, I can see it. B3.
Oh, near Pops.
65, right?
Close to
it was just
Pops, which used to be a record shop.
As I remember, you
Glasgow.
actually just walked down to Pops from Holstein's business office last time. All right, so you bundle. Do you return the truck and then bundle into a car? What do you
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Ditch the work overalls and
Just
drive.
records. I'm going to be done stealing a truck as well.
Yeah. And then emptied them into the river, thus, in a pre-environmental agency period, polluting the Hudson. Or Harlem River, yes, good point. So Casper Holstein's workplace was, I don't know if you recall, basically up a set of flight of stairs, and then there's a whole bunch of people doing numbers in a floor. There's a guy standing out the front, kind of heavy-looking dude, looking quite protective. You guys rock up. He takes one look at you. Oh! And I think last time he recognised you, Atlanta, so looks at all of you. Oh, right, yeah, it's you guys again. Are you here to see Mr. Holstein?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, if that's convenient.
Sure.
Thank you, my son.
Oh, father. Oh, sorry, I didn't recognise you. Of course. Let me take you upstairs, and he sort of leads you up the stairs through all the people doing numbers and kids running in and out with packets of little notebooks and other things. I'm running the numbers game. Holstein's office is once again at the back of this space, quite spacious, quite well appointed. He looks at you when you arrive. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
We are well. Thank you for asking.
I don't think we're that well, mate.
Well, we've been better, but
Yeah, some of you are limping. Some of you limping.
We've earned. And you're not going to be very happy with the results, but believe me, we have earned whatever it is we asked you for.
Whatever we asked you for.
$60.
Can anyone remember the amount of dollars? $60.
No, I can't remember.
No. All right.
Didn't ask for anything.
You didn't. I did. I'm sure. I can't remember what it was. It was weeks ago, for Christ's sake. Scarlotti's pushed you out of business. Sorry, I'm speaking for everybody here. I'll shut up.
If you'd like to have a little look at this contract that we've managed to procure for you.
What do you mean?
I'll pass the contract over to you. To him.
All right, so there's like pens drawn through his name and Paul Scarlotti's name written into the contract.
Yep.
So this Scarlotti, I've heard of him. He's like some junior bagman for one of the big firms. But they wouldn't be pushing into and he looks really angry. Like, it's the first time you've seen him angry. He's usually very affable. Like, he's always putting on that front of, I'm just a businessman, I'm just a community kind of person. Like, he's always very, very keen to project a particular image of himself. But in this moment, you probably see what at least he's somewhat really like. He looks furious. looks at the contract, reads it for a second. So who's this? Where's this Scarlotti found?
He's found at 27596. We'll give him the address because we've got the address on
2151 East 2nd Avenue, East Harlem.
Yeah. And also, Mr. Perkins also dealt you out due to Mr. Scarlotti's inference.
So he's right. Yeah. Right. And what's your sense of this? Is this Scarlotti a man able to understand compromise, or is he?
We hope everyone is understanding compromise and no one is hurt.
Sorry, Father. I understand you might have a particular opinion. I was probably asking Atlanta.
I apologise. Yes, and I will sort of excuse myself from the room.
Right. I'll see you actually leave the room. Okay. That does make it easier.
Holstein is black, isn't he?
He is absolutely.
So,
okay.
Yeah, Casper Holstein. Yeah, he's like a leading member of the community. Like this is a guy that most of the time presents to the African American community as, I'm simply a businessman facilitating a need. And he does actually spend a lot of money in the community, like he builds public goods and all these things. But he's explicitly African American. Yeah. Now,
specifically, I'm leaving, and I'm mostly going to find someone to sit down in his outer room. Just I need to sit because my back.
Of course. Amadeus, look. Actually, I'll stop sharing so I can see everyone. Amadeus, Dr. Winthrop.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to join Father Legba.
Yeah, better look after him. He's still recovering from an injury.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Frank, can you organise, coffees for Amadeus and Daniel? Sorry, Father Legba. He doesn't call you, of course.
Say coffees or copies?
Coffees.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
He's politely getting you out of the office.
I noticed.
Not crime, that's right. Dr. Winthrop and Father Legba, would you mind, just stepping out? Because you guys are both community members as well, like quite well recognised members of the community in your own right. And probably not people he would associate with the conversation he now wants to have. So once you both leave the room, the door is closed. Holstein's, kind of affable presentation kind of goes away quite rapidly. He looks furious, angry, and like there might be, violence in the offing. He looks at you, John, and you, Atlanta. All right, guys. So tell me about this Scarlotti guy. What's the story here?
Yeah. I don't know. To tell you, this guy at the Blue Moon Records just shipped the record that was recorded to Holstein. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can we chime out for a moment?
Yeah.
Do I know Scarlotti from previous adventures?
You know
we had something to do with him, yeah.
Yeah, you had something to do with him in the first...
Yeah, the first one was Scarlotti.
Yeah, it wasn't Scarlotti, but they're part of the same crime family.
So were the Scarlottis, were they like... They weren't... Given that crime family were... No... I can't remember where I was in that bloody adventure. At the point where Mohammed ate a bunch of flies, more than one fly, I hasten to add, quite a lot of flies, or vomited them, I can't remember. died in a pretty horrible way in the theatre.
Yeah.
Were the Italians part of that little clique of
Spinelli. It was Spinelli that you're thinking of.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
But look for the sake of joining some lines up. I'm actually, because you never actually dealt with Spinelli, you dealt with his henchmen.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to connect the names for the purposes of providing linkage. So yep, let's assume that they were the same person.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. So what this is again me as a player, not yet.
Yeah, understood.
So we know that there are some rich and powerful people in this city doing some dark magic.
You do.
And sucking power out of, well, all of the working class, but mostly black people in Harlem.
That is correct. Yep.
I'm trying to work out in my head, knowing that Anston is trying to work out, does Scarlotti know about the power of these records? And was there a plan to screw over Harlem with madness making?
So you genuinely just need to make your own decision on that, because there's nothing that is suggested either way except that Scarlotti intended to circulate the records.
Okay.
You just want to make money.
Yeah.
So Scarlotti's connected, I say, and with everything that means.
So Holstein looks at him and goes, yeah, I know. And I'm not having them move into my territory. Like, this is Harlem.
Now, to be honest,
this is, African American Harlem. He makes the point quite directly. So they're not moving in. You give me the address, and they're going to go away.
I think that would be wise. I can give you the address, but the issue. Let's get back to where we were. Right at the beginning of this, we were making beautiful music.
Yeah.
Oh God, shit, I can't remember his name. Who is the name of the original missing musician?
Wendell.
Wendell Young.
Wendell.
Yeah.
It's not just Scarlotti. It's the guy behind the studio as well. Damn.
Yeah, Perkins.
Perkins.
The two of them, they're in it together. They did us over. Perkins hates our music. He doesn't care about it.
Sounds like Mr. Perkins might need to sell up.
Yeah.
Maybe to an investor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And just as he sold part of the company you own to this Scarlotti fellow, I think a bit of pressure could be put on him.
All right. All right. So, look, you guys know what's what. You know how to deal with stuff. You can bring your friends. I want you to go and see Perkins. I'm going to write a little note. I want you to drop it off at Perkins. But I'll make sure that Mr. Scarlotti understands he's not welcome in Harlem.
There is two copies now. One at Blue Moon Records and one with Scarlotti.
Correct. That's what you know. Yes.
Yeah. This is going to sound crazy. But I tried to get the records. We tried to get the records out of Scarlotti's warehouse. They've already gone. He's exported them somewhere, apparently.
So they're gone.
Yeah.
All that money gone.
All that money down the drain. Except there's the way we've heard about it, and in fact we've got the paperwork that proves it.
Yeah.
There's a copy at Perkins' house.
Right.
Perkins' place. There's a copy at Scarlotti's place. I don't know. I'm no record manufacturer, but it could be that if you can get that copy from Scarlotti, we might be able to save something out of this whole investment.
All right. Can you make a manipulation roll for me, please?
You're turning into a master manipulator.
Yes, I can. How fucked over am I? What am I? I've still got one. Yeah,
I think you have one condition.
So there we go. Fingers crossed, guys.
Go on.
1-6.
All right. So basically, you cancel out. He's not. So he's a bit suspicious about why you're so focused on the record. He's actually kind of moved on from the records. Like this isn't for him. This isn't about the records. This is about people moving in on his territory. This is very much him as a man of some explicit violence, who is going to protect his territory from particularly the sort of influence that someone like the mafia would bring to the community. Because he actually perceives himself very much as a protector of the community.
Okay.
Like he's, in a weird sort of way, not dissimilar to the mafia in southern Italy. There's that kind of trade of we're actually about protecting the community from outsiders whilst also perhaps taking advantage of the community at the same time. So you know for sure he's going to kill Scully. Like you have no doubt that is what he is planning to do. And you also know that whatever this note says, if Perkins doesn't do what the note suggests he should do, Perkins is likely to not be found at some point in the not too distant future. Because you know enough about Holstein to understand that this is a man who presents this whole image of I'm this affable, kind of leader of the community, presents that image, but he didn't get here by doing that. He got here by being the other person that you are now talking to. And you also know, for instance, that he's in this kind of low-level gang war with the woman who runs the club that you...
who I'm in debt to.
In debt to, yeah. Okay, so on that note then, he writes you a note. You can read it. It pretty much just says, Perkins, you owe me, X amount of dollars of investment. That sounds like about the sell price of your, company. My strong advice is you settle your debts in the most appropriate way. If you don't settle your debts, I'll settle them for you.
Guys, we could be running a recording studios before this.
In the meantime, I'm crying with Luckbow on how his back is doing.
Yeah.
Just there.
Probably John is looking a bit worried.
Think of it. We could do recording hymns.
Yeah.
It sounds tempting.
The music of worship.
The music of worship. It could
be.
The word of the Lord on Shellac Records. You know it makes sense. All you need to do is deliver this letter.
Get the priest to deliver the letter. Meanwhile, the letter's hiding in the background. All right, so we'll cut scene. So you come out with the letter. What do you want to tell the guys? Like, what do you want to tell Dr. Winthrop and Father Legba?
Do
you have anything to do? I think we both myself and Dr. Winthrop need to visit the armory. If you have other things you need to be doing, and I'll slowly be walking in front of the other two so they don't have an opportunity to start a conversation.
All right, but hold on. Sorry, John, you wanted to say something before I was cut.
Probably while we were walking out of Holstein office, I'm saying, should we tell him about the records? And if we go to Scolati, maybe if he go into fight, maybe he can listen to the record. He will be affected. We don't want this man to be affected by these records. I guess we come clean and tell him.
No, we shouldn't tell him. I mean, for a start, he's not going to believe us. Secondly, he's not necessarily good for this community.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I worked for him when I was a little kid in the street. So yeah, he has his ups and his downs. At least he doesn't hurt the community itself.
I mean, I don't want there to be any more violence than there is going to be in that office.
We already put it in motion by destroying the records and blaming it on Scarlatti. Yeah, so yeah, the blood will be probably spilled, but at least we can give him a heads up.
But
to listen to the record.
If there's hold on, give me a moment, just find my notes.
I think it's his little black notebook out. Looks through it.
I'm in debt to Queenie. Queenie has a problem with Holstein. Holstein goes mad, finds himself in a straitjacket. That's not the worst possible outcome.
I guess it's fair enough if they kill each other by their own rules, by cheating their way. I don't know what
we need to do.
What's the story with
Queenie? If he walks out there with the record unlistened to, then we need to maybe think of a plan of getting it off him. But if he listens to it in the office, then
yeah, if he take it and we said we want the only record of Wendell. Yeah, at least give him a heads up. And I don't know. I'm kind of in debt to this guy, as seems.
We're not gonna tell Father Legbar. We're not gonna send him to Scarlatti's office to pick up the people.
No, I might have missed this, but did you actually get the record off Caspar?
No, Caspar doesn't have the record.
Hasn't got a record.
Scarlatti and
Cliff Perkins. It was Cliff Perkins.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
So you're going to Perkins.
So we're going to get. If you want to join us, gentlemen, we're going to go and get the record off Chris Perkins now.
I'll join you with Perkins, but what lie are we going to spin there? Are we going to say that Scarlatti wants it?
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
I'll let you do the talking.
You are the only family that I have.
Mr. Perkins is going to be very eager to give us the shop and its entire contents.
You think? Okay, if you say so.
I guess he's getting not out of Harlem already. He will probably leave the New York state itself. He'll probably run away far enough. He'll probably between Scarlatti and Holstein. So I don't wish this on anyone. But okay, I trust you, Atlanta. Yeah. You and the guys are my family now, so yeah, I always stick with my family.
Very touching.
So we cut scene to Cliff Perkins' office. The last thing you hear as you're walking out is Holstein calling out for Frank, the big guy that was downstairs who greeted you when you came in. Frank, can you come in here for a second? Maybe get a couple of the boys.
Here come the heavies.
And that's the last we hear of Paul Scarlatti, except in the newspapers tomorrow. So what do you want to do? You've come out. You've got this directive to go to Blue Moon Gramophone Company and visit Mr. Perkins.
Amadeus, would you give us a lift?
Sure, but you have to tell me what you discussed in there with Mr. Holstein.
Mr. Holstein is understandably angry about being written out of the contract that he has signed in good faith.
Well, yes.
He blames Mr. Perkins and has made, or wants us to deliver an offer that will adequately recompense him for his loss.
That sounds all very civil.
And I'm sure it will be.
Good.
As civil as Mr. Perkins can be.
It's not one of those offers you cannot refuse, right?
I think Mr. Perkins will be disinclined to refuse it.
Oh, good. Or in good spirits.
Okay, so you get in the car. It's a short drive across Harlem, across the bridge of the Harlem River, and to the place where this all began. Well, sort of all began. The Blue Moon recording studio. You rock up. Same as before, it was kind of like a hole in the wall kind of story, but then when you went upstairs, there was the actual office area and there was a recording studio itself in the back. If you recall, Holstein, hold on, I've got to get the names right, my apologies, not Holstein, we just saw Holstein. Chris Perkins, Cliff Perkins, the owner, is there. So as you're coming in, can I get everyone please to make for me
Bloody fear roll.
Surely not.
What? I think it's not investigation. Where is it? What is it? Oh, maybe
Vigilance?
Vigilance, yeah. Oh, that's right, it's vigilance, not observation. Yes, that's where I'm getting it mixed up. Vigilance, please. Vigilance rolls. Yeah.
So, sorry, observation.
By the way, I do want to agree with the comment from before.
Ambush type stuff.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay.
So vigilance, and I do want to agree with the comment made slightly earlier about Free League not changing the name of skills, and in particular the fact that observation is usually used to describe the awareness slash like.
It's because there's three different sorts of awareness in this game. It's investigation.
Yes.
Even though I only rolled 3 dice,
you got a success there.
I got a success.
No success. No success.
No successes from the rest of you, right? Okay. All right. So you can hear a sort of, as you're walking to the door, you can hear a sort of scrambling noise coming from inside.
Oh, fuck.
The room.
What's scrambling?
As in like someone scratching or sort of like moving papers around, moving things around, a sort of scrabbling kind of noise.
Hold on, people. I say at the door. Listen to that.
You'll
That
stop.
sound like the sort of person that might have
Lost their story.
listened to a record. Lost their story, as you say, Father.
I guess.
I think we should go in and make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Very well. Shall tell you what though, John, do you want to take the lead?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Answorth, I believe you are equipped better if poor Mr.
If anybody needs to be restrained or anything.
If poor Mr. Perkins has lost his story, you would be best to go in first.
Yeah, I'll probably. Yeah, just is the door locked or it's just open?
But as Bruce says, he's probably just making scrambled eggs, so don't worry about the scratching noise.
There is the door is not locked. It's just closed.
Yeah, probably.
The other thing is,
okay.
So you've stopped at the door and you're listening quite hard. I will allow you to make an investigation roll now, please. And that is all 4 of you can make an investigation roll.
Yeah.
Investigation.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, 2 6s.
Nice.
And a 5.
Oh, bloody hell, look at me!
Look at me, 1 6.
Yeah.
1 6 out of my 7 dice.
Probably I'm shaking, not concentrating enough.
Yeah, you're not. Well, you're getting ready, right? Because you've fought these people before. They're insane, right? Like you've had to beat them unconscious. The last time you had to kill someone to stop. So you can hear that underlying the sort of sound. Now that you're listening very carefully, there's a scratching kind of sound, like an actual scratching sound.
Record sound.
Like the needle has run to the center of the record. Yeah.
Should we say? Should we cover our ears?
No, I think it's fine.
We hope it's fine.
Oh fuck! Oh, don't give me this. It's not in the blooming thing in the middle of the record.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I guess we can get the ear muffler. There is ear muffler, I guess, inside the recording studio.
Yeah, but they'll be inside.
Waxy ears.
I think the point that's about to be made is you're on the outside of the studio, and the earmuffs are on the inside of the studio, and somewhere between those two places is the scratching sound.
Yeah, I'll probably cut my t-shirt, wearing some shirt, I cut it and make
jam the things in your ear.
Because I got 2 successes on an investigation roll. Is my sixth sense pinging at all from bad shit going on at this moment in there? Because I've got sixth sense.
Yeah, okay, alright. So, let me think about it for a sec. Let me think about it. Yeah, so you can feel that something bad has happened, but it is a past tense feeling.
Okay.
So it's a bit like I have a bad feeling about this.
You can see me grasp the cross or grasp something, and like a brooch.
Play the horn and drown out any music.
I think we're okay. I think we should go in and solve the problem.
Right. Well, the question is, Atlanta, are you going to play the horn or not?
Okay, well, I'll play the horn anyway. You don't need to ask me twice.
No, don't.
All right, so Atlanta is playing the horn, tooting in the background. Is John opening the door?
Yeah, opening quickly. I'm fed up with this.
Push the door open as quickly as possible and push it open. In front of you is a scene of kind of chaos. So papers have been strewn on the ground. You can see Cliff Perkins is kind of standing there looking at you. You can see that there's a gramophone. The needle is indeed in the center of the record, so the needle has played that side of the record and is now just kind of scratching its way around the edge. Yeah, it's not playing music anymore. He's looking at you, sort of confused for a second, sees you. You see the light of recognition appear in his eyes. You. It's you.
At least he's talking now. That's a good sign. Yeah, it's us.
Yes.
Can
it's
I stop
you.
that? Oh, can I stop the record?
So you move over to the record. He sort of like looks at you as you kind of move past. He doesn't leap at you or anything.
I'll move in as well.
He's quite confused. It's your fault. He points at all of you generally. Like he's just kind of pointing kind of in your general direction.
You mean us, or as a general racist sort of way?
Could it be both? Could be both. He sort of pauses for a second. You can see he's really concentrating, like he's trying to really focus. It's your music! Once again, generally pointing at all of you. Right, so by this point, you've lifted the needle away from the record. John, what do you want to do at this point?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, calm down. It's not our music. It's.
I'll go in. Is there a sleeve for the music?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's probably on the ground by this point.
I'll pick a sleeve up.
Yep.
Very gently pick the record up so I'm not touching the turntable at all. Slide the record into the sleeve and walk out.
Could you make a observation roll for me, please, when you pick up the record and slide it into the sleeve?
Have you looked at the label?
What if we play the record backwards?
That would need some mechanics.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, you need to reverse the gearing so that it went outwards as opposed to inwards. But okay, so when you pick up the record and slide it into the sleeve, and just noting you have perceptions that go beyond the normal.
We lost.
We lost. Nope, there he is.
He's back.
He's back in a heartbeat. That's what I love about Atlanta. He's gone for a second, returns in a moment. You slide the record into the sleeve. As you do so, you feel a very cold kind of chill come across you, and you hear a laughter of a sort of deep and unkind fashion, like kind. I didn't want to say unkind kind, but it is unkind kind, I guess. As you slide the record in, and there's a sense that there's something in the record itself.
A malignancy in the record. Did I get that in any of the 1,000 that I shattered?
Well, they hadn't been played.
Right. Okay.
This one's actually being played.
So it comes off when it's being played.
Or it comes off because it basically is sucking out other people's stories, and this now has his story in it.
Starting it.
But there's definitely a sense of something deeply unpleasant. An antithesis, if you will, of Anansi's presence.
Okay, well, I'm making sure I'm holding it the corners and not the actual vinyl through the paper.
Right. So you grab the corner edges of the piece
and I will walk. I'm walking out.
All right. So he's like looking at you, grunting. He's trying to form words. He's clearly struggling. However, he is more articulate than any of the individuals you've met to date.
Obviously, he's only had one side, so he's only lost half of it, rather than possibly whatever happened to everyone else. Is there anywhere near, like, somebody having a fire on a
corner street, as it were?
On the big cans?
I think we ruled that it was actually approaching winter, so I'm going to kind of suggest yes, that such a thing can be found.
I will start walking over to one and drop the record in the fire.
Okay, so you just throw the record in the fire. Okay. So you do that. John and Amadeus, and obviously Atlanta, but not currently present. What do you guys want to do?
Well, that's one down. Sorry, that's 1,001 down.
Yeah. 1,001 down. One to go.
So do we go to this Carlotti, or do we just hope that he takes care of himself?
I think... Well, that's for you guys to decide. What do you want to do with Cliff is my question, though. Like, he's struggling to make sense of words. Do you just leave him there?
Yeah, probably just leave the note on his desk and call the ambulance or,
I think I'll give him a once-over and just try to reassure him. And see how bad he is, whether he's as bad as Wendell, for example.
He's not as bad as Wendell Young was. He's not as bad as the two guys that you met.
So I'll try to console him
in the fabrication facility.
I'll try to console him and give him a little bit of inspiration, maybe.
Yeah, make an inspiration roll for me, please.
Not very successful.
No. So look, he doesn't turn violent, but it's quite apparent that he's not recovering. And what you actually make a medicine roll. That's probably the right thing to do at this point. Medicine roll. Mm-hmm.
Without bag, I take it?
Yeah, without bag. This is more sort of understanding of sciencey type stuff.
Yeah, I've got one there.
So you're struck by the fact that one thing you noted, particularly with Wendell, was that there was clearly signs that he lost capability over time. So initially, so when you looked at the music that he was writing, it started off simplistic but not terrible, and then it became more and more sort of random and terrible. So that's exactly what you think you're seeing here. So he's effectively at the beginning of the journey. Yeah, it's going to get worse. That's what your best judgment is that it's going to get worse.
Well, I don't think there's anything I can do, right?
No. There probably isn't. So John wanted to ring an ambulance. Is that what you do?
Yeah, just not leaving it hurting himself. Even I feel pity for this racist person, but yeah.
Not a lot. Ooh, I think that suggests that we might be getting... Yay, it's Atlanta.
He's back.
You'll be glad to know the record is destroyed. Daniel Legba took it out and threw it in a burning bin.
Excellent. And what else happened? Did we discover anything horrible?
We discovered that this seems to be progressive, so straight after listening to it, it's just a little bit confusing and draining for them, but it seems to get worse over time.
So he can still sign a contract, he can still sign...
I was wondering if you were going to push in that direction.
That's your job.
Are you going to get him to countersign the note from...
Indeed.
Mr. Holstein? Okay.
I think...
can I get a manipulation roll to kind of pull that off?
I think, Perkins, you need a rest. Mr. Holstein thinks you need a rest as well. It's time to retire on your savings. Just sign this over and everything will be...
hunky-dory.
Simpler.
Okay, make a roll, please.
Arse.
Do you want to push it?
I'm pushing it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you want to turn up to Holstein without a signature.
Can we assist?
Yes, you can assist. I mean, yeah, definitely. Yes, you can assist. Mm-hmm.
I can't. Right, there we go.
Just re-roll the whole thing.
It's just re-roll the whole thing with a bonus die though, because people are assisting.
Oh, well, I got 3 6s. I don't need a bonus die.
Oh, there.
Right. Okay. All right. Wow. All right. Well, you're able to get him to sign on the dotted line, as they say. It's all awkward and. Sorry.
What mental condition are you taking? Is it frightened because you don't want to upset Casper Holstein?
That was indeed the
condition that I was taking. So you get Holstein to, you get Perkins to sign away on the contract satisfying Holstein. John Arnsworth, you ring an ambulance. I think you don't know what happens to the last record. Because you kind of lose track of it in the sense that the next morning Scarlotti is reported gunned down by gangsters in the sort of New York Post or whatever it might be, or the Harlem kind of Chronicle or whatever the name of the local paper is. No witnesses, however, saw the crime. Shot in the street, surrounded by people. No one saw who fired the gun. Unfortunately, police, unable, have already indicated that they won't be pursuing any further investigation. So Scarlotti, the report does make a comment that the Scarlotti's office unfortunately burnt down. At the same time, it all seems to be quite a tragedy of epic proportions. Officers catching fire by accident while people are gunned down on the street.
Or officers?
Offices.
Okay.
Officers. Sorry, it's the Australian accent. I discovered apparently the thing that gives away Australian accents is our use of R's, which I thought was really fascinating. I read a whole article on it.
Use of R's?
R's.
Oh, dear.
R's. Apparently we take ER and we take it and we turn it into an A sound. So we say plumber, as opposed to plumber, which is our specific habit. And we add R's. So certain words, when it's ing at the end, we make it sound like ring or ringing rather than ing. So I'm now listening to it all the time. It's quite fascinating. I do it.
Linguistics,
by the way, a lot.
very interesting.
Yeah, I love linguistics. Okay, so that was a side note. So you do hand over the note to Casper Holstein, who thanks you very much for your service and does pay you $20 Atlanta and Arnsworth. He does not pay Legba and Winthrop.
What can you do, Father?
Obviously, he'd be making some sort of donation to the church.
Absolutely. He will be sponsoring, a new pew or two for the church, and he's very generous in his, sort of in the next round of fundraising for the hospital, Winthrop.
Good. Glad to hear that.
It feels like you're being paid off, but it's all kind of
definitely being paid off
above, in a way that makes you feel like you're kind of not obligated to do anything about it. Whereas he can be much more direct with Atlanta and John. He just gives them money.
John is feeling guilty, still feeling guilty about killing someone, even for saving Father Legba. So he'll probably.
Well, I'm sure I could talk to you about it in confessional.
Yeah.
Maybe you should donate that money to the church.
I wouldn't say that.
Hey, I was trying to locate maybe the family or the widow.
Well, after the infamous gramophone discussion, it's like that should be donated to the church. All right, so we'll just do one last cutscene. So you all find yourselves, you've kind of wrapped up the case insofar as, there's obviously that one record somewhere, maybe, but probably burnt, destroyed in the office fire that took out Scarlatti's office. You've destroyed the 1,000 records. The master is destroyed. You destroyed the mold, and you have destroyed the copy that was sent to Cliff Perkins. Unfortunately, Wendell Young never recovers. So there is no recovery. And indeed, over time, Cliff Perkins descends in the same way that Wendell Young did. The other members of Young's band, similar stories. One drowns himself, another one dies of exposure, the third one ends up in a facility.
I would make sure they're all looked after, if it's
well. The thing is, two of them die before you find them. So one dies of exposure. Yeah. The other one drowns himself, and the third one is found wandering the streets and taken to a facility. You did find the guy had hung himself, didn't you? Mm-hmm. It was the engineer. The engineer. So he had hung himself. So you're sort of surrounded by all of this death, in a sense, or perhaps even worse, the loss of self. And you're kind of reflecting on that as you're sort of moving down the street away from Holstein offices where you've handed over the contract. It's very quiet and the snow is falling. It's actually quite a pretty evening. You're quite struck by the fact that, in this light, it's just one of those very rare, the snow is just falling, so it's kind of not grey and mushy yet. It's kind of white coverage on the ground, giving the street a quite beautiful appearance. You all hear, as you walk down the street, someone tuning up a trumpet.
Trumpet.
Yeah, like someone, kind of doing a little bit of, sort of tuning up the trumpet. And you see sort of standing on the corner of this intersection, this
Crossroads, even.
Intersection. Your words, not mine. A very dark-skinned African-American man, or at least you think it's a man, sort of standing there holding a trumpet in their hands, looking at you. They're wearing the sharpest blue suit you've ever seen.
Is the Baron in blue?
And they look at you just quietly as you're sort of walking down the road. You feel bizarrely comfortable in this situation. Like one part of your brain is screaming, run away, run away, run away, because yes, you're not idiots. You're already aware of the Baron in blue. And Nancy kind of gave you some hints to it. You're familiar with dark powers, so it's not like it's news to you that this could actually be a thing. And you know that Wendell Young made a deal with someone at a crossroad. But even though that part of your brain is like spinning out at 150 kilometers per hour, kind of desperately trying to get you to move away, you find your feet sort of carrying you forward.
Go on, Atlanta.
Now, I'm tempted to go and make a deal with this guy, but I'm pretty
you did
sure.
Get the impression that he would be open for a deal.
Yeah, no, but I'm just wondering. Did I know I will have asked Holstein. I will have tried to persuade Holstein that Chris Perkins gone. He never liked our music anyway. This recording studio could be a big success if a brother who appreciated our music could maybe run it.
So can I get a? It's definitely I think it's an inspiration roll. I think it's you trying to convince Casper that you've got the passion for the thing, rather than maybe trying to manipulate him.
Have I still got my two conditions?
No, I don't think so. I think you can just make this a raw roll.
Okay, inspiration. Because this might save me if he has said yes.
Please say yes. Please say yes.
Please say yes.
Oh, there's a 6 there.
The 6.
So he does not think you're the right guy to run the business. He's got a a lovely a woman who will be quite capable of running it as a business, but he does agree that perhaps someone with a more artistic bent would be suitable for selecting the musicians and for actually organising the recording.
Right then. So
which he kind of makes it clear to you, of course, if you do this, you've got to settle up with Queenie because you'd be working for him.
Yeah.
Which has all sorts of complexities for you.
That may well have all sorts of complexities for me, but I'm going with this one. And for that reason, I could have gone to the Baron in Blue. I could ask for musical success. I could ask for my cock back. There are all sorts of deals I would, but maybe the time is to recognise that I see great music in others, and I don't need to be there for myself. After all, everybody here around me, these three have told me that there's a community that we work to protect. I'm a member of the Ring of Rubris, so I think I can walk past the Baron in Blue without asking for anything.
All right. Well, he's tuning up his trumpet, clearly intending to play. So your plan is to just walk right past.
Then again, dueling trumpets.
Well, he does give you a look.
I'm feeling the horn.
Atlanta's obviously struggling. Daniel.
Did the devil go down to Atlanta then?
That's right. What would the other three of you? What is your response to this?
If Atlanta needs a helping hand to move past, I just gently put a hand on Atlanta's back. Now it's only gentle. It's not forcing. It's just now's time to continue walking, sort of thing. But if Atlanta pushes back on that, I'd just let him take his own decisions.
All right. Can you make an inspiration roll for me, please?
Come on.
Yes, you can. All right. So you are assisting Atlanta to kind of ignore the lure, effectively, of the Baron.
If he wants to resist.
Yeah. Well, you're certainly giving him the freedom of choice that he can exert. Amadeus, John, what's your response to this very uncomfortable moment?
I would probably want to smash the horn that he's playing.
Oh, so you're just gonna run up. So how are you gonna? What do you do? So,
yeah, I would probably casually walking toward him, smiling.
Yeah.
As I'm trying to maybe help me in my book or something, but casually I will appear to him, snatch the horn from his mouth, and step on it.
Slam it to the ground. Okay.
Oh dear.
And Amadeus, while I contemplate what happens to John,
Amadeus, of course, doesn't see him playing the trumpet at all. Amadeus sees him with a keyboard.
Wow.
Take my piano and knock it over his head, yeah.
How did you get a piano on this corner street? Why is there a piano on the corner street? Anyway, no, he has the trumpet. That is actually what he has. But
anyway, you wanted to know what? Did you want to ask me?
Well, I guess the question is, what's your response to this moment?
I'm creeped out a bit that this guy is not somewhere down in, don't know, Louisiana on a crossroad in the countryside, but he's actually here. And I'm worried about him recruiting other people and us having to do the whole thing over and over again, because it was a pretty close shave for us. Especially
I haven't got a clue what to do, which is why I want to run away.
So I just wonder, what can we do to get rid of this Baron in Blue? And I might actually just ask Father Luckbad to say, is there anything we can do to drive this guy away?
Do I know of anything?
Well, I mean,
what did Anansi say?
Well, you do know Anansi has made it very clear that they weren't a fan of the Baron in Blue.
Yeah.
Because the Baron in Blue was stealing stories.
Which was
the one thing Anansi explicitly would not allow. So, and you practice a faith that allows you to call upon.
Yep. I will put my Orisha mask on and call Anansi then. Okay.
So at that moment, so the way this is rolling out is you two have kind of got that. You see, so Legbe, you kind of were helping Atlanta, and then you kind of quickly, in effect, have the mask in your hand. It's not like you pulled it out of a bag or something. It's like you kind of have it in your hand,
right?
And you slip it on. John, you are casually walking up to the Baron in Blue, full of intent. Right, so you're doing this kind of, I'm walking casually, but in your head, of course, it's all about, you're just completely focused on the trumpet, which you're going to grab and smash to the ground. Can I get you to make a fear roll for me, actually? Your choice, logic or empathy. Billy Boots. And Legbo, can you make a inspiration roll with bonus die for the mask?
With the bonus dice for the mask. Okay.
Yeah, is it 1 or 2 for the mask?
2.
Okay, cool. John, what was your fear result? Sorry, I can't see it.
I failed. Okay. Can I push?
You can.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
That's pretty sweet for 3 days.
Yeah, John's just like, yeah, that's it. I'm focused. 2 successes? Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
2 successes.
Cool. What condition are you taking?
I'm going to take angry, because I'm angry at this guy for stealing people's stories.
Okay. Good morning.
Oh, some
People are
just
learning
woke
if you can wake up.
Hello.
Yeah, that's approaching 7 a.m. Australian time. In case that's the hair of 7 a.m. as opposed to the hair of 5 a.m.
Yeah, in the background we can see a window lighting.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. Okay, so in quick succession, then, John, you kind of push through this moment of resistance, like everything in your head is screaming, "Don't touch the horn." But you push through it. You grab the horn which the Baron is holding, rip it out of his hands. There seems to be no real resistance, and hurl it to the ground. At the same time, Daniel, you're sort of begging, in effect, to Nancy's assistance.
Yep.
The Baron, when the horn is ripped out of their hands, the Baron is no longer this kind of amazingly attractive African-American man in a blue suit. They are a crawling chaos, like a writhing shadow that cuts the light and into your brain at the same time. Can I get all of you, please, to make fear rolls for me? The target will be 2.
Ooh, I already spent it on myself.
And this is on empathy or logic.
Am I, because I've got a Nancy in me, or
Yes, you still need to make the fear check. Yes.
Ooh, I got 1.
Is that within? Do I take the condition negative?
I think we worked out last time conditions do not apply to
fear rolls.
Fear rolls.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably spend my 2 successes last time. I probably
I
lose
failed.
all.
Well, yeah, I'll just
So I will become frightened and hopeless.
And you pushed.
I'm already angry.
Right,
I'm only 3. I'm angry, frightened, and
this
hopeless.
writhing chaos
angry and
that
hopeless.
kind of cuts like through reality in an.
Oh no! What have I done? Dropped out of the room. No, that's the wrong room. This extra mouse button. I apologize.
Right.
Sorry,
I'm back.
I'm back.
He's back. He's back.
That's a squirrel! His wings are
That's a squirrel. But at the same time, you have this feeling, this terrible, terrible fear, and this just sense of disconnection, crawling out of all of the little, like of the grates and of the, the channels and out of the corners of wheels of cars parked on the street, are thousands and thousands of little spiders. Like literally millions of these little spiders of various kinds and flavors.
That is creepy.
Did I ever tell you how spiders got very long, narrow, thin legs?
No.
Have you ever heard of that story?
Oh, is this what you're doing?
Yes, I'll literally start telling him that story about how the spider goes to 8 different animals who are cooking food and asks them to have a bit of that food. He goes to the rare rabbit who's cooking carrot stew and basically says, once you have, the food ready, pull this pull this thread, and he ties a thread to each one of his legs. But unfortunately, every single one of the animal's food is ready at the same time, and they all pull and pull and pull and stretch the spider's legs longer and longer and longer until pops, and they have. That's why you have spiders have long, thin legs.
Is that so? But how does that help us with hundreds and thousands of spiders?
Well, I literally, it's one of Anansi's stories, actually. But.
Okay.
Okay, so you're telling that story to the shadow demon thing that you're now looking at.
Yeah, hoping for Anansi to save us, because it's one of his stories.
So the spiders crawl all over you. It's deeply, deeply uncomfortable. I will ask you to make one more fear check, please.
Oh, prepare for broken.
Just the father, everybody?
Everyone.
So only roll. Okay, so
that's me broke.
That's you broken. Yeah.
Sorry, John and I each got sorry, not John. Amadeus and I each got a 6. How
so
many?
That's one condition.
So this one's only one, so all good.
I'm going to push this one.
Yeah, no. Previously,
it was
2.
And we're going to push
So
this one.
you took. If you got one
one
success last time, you got one condition, and this time, if you get one success, you get 0 conditions.
Okay,
as the
in that case,
spiders
I don't
crawl
need to
all over
push.
you. Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if I take a condition or mental condition, I also make the empathy roll with the condition, right? So I will only roll 1 dice if I took last 2 conditions last time.
Creepy,
Because I have a total of 3.
No, you don't.
No, you don't make. Yeah, you don't make
You
fear.
don't apply conditions to
After
fear
3
rolls.
additions, it's full dice. Okay.
Yeah. But noting that you are broken, can I get a D66 roll, Daniel?
Yeah, this is a mental and physically broken, so it's quite a good session. Here goes.
Yeah.
Oh, 54.
Okay, can you look that up?
Dream state.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Dream state. It's fatal in a D6 rounds.
Sounds.
Huh. Wow.
I've got nightmares and fears.
So how do we snap out of this?
Okay, so I think the way that works is Anansi takes over your body.
Yeah.
So the spiders crawl through all of your orifices, all of your mouth and your nose and your ears, and crawl into you, and you kind of become more than you were, which is actually exactly how your religious practice is meant to work. So it's
Totally.
So that's completely appropriate. However, it's not good to be actually the home of a god.
No.
Even a god like Anansi. So you sort of rise up, this giant spider form rises up, and in this place and in this time, surrounded by the people who listen to his stories, Anansi is more than the crawling chaos. That would not normally be the case, but in this place and in this time. So the crawling chaos retreats into the shadows and the corners, away from Anansi, who stands amongst you. However, at that moment, you can see that Father Legba is writhing and screaming as these spider forms move under his flesh, in this dream moment that you are all in. I will ask for one last fear roll, and then what's the not dying bit for? What do they have to roll to?
mental crits.
For
mental crits.
chronics.
Yeah, I'm broken also.
Oh, you're broken also.
You're broken also. Oh well, then please make a crit roll for me, please.
Dun, dun, dun.
22.
22.
That is frozen facial muscles. The mask
Mask of terror. All right.
Very good face.
Okay, it's inspiration.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know whether it's medicine or inspiration. I don't know whether medicine is physical and inspiration is mental.
I'm going to go with that assumption. So do you want to make... I guess, Atlanta, it's on you, buddy. Do you want to make an inspiration roll? So you've only got...
I'll get my trumpet out.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, I'm conditioned.
Yeah. You can become permanently broken if you fail. No stress. We've got two people that are broken at the moment. Both have got critical, but I don't think the facial injury, facial injuries isn't chronic. I have the possibility of not coming round.
Correct.
Right.
If you fail this roll, no pressure.
Don't fail the roll. There's no 6. There's no 6.
Are you pushing yourself?
Yes, do.
Can you push yourself?
Yeah, I'm getting angry.
Okay.
All right. This is your last round. Just pulls it out.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd have been permanently catatonic.
Well, no, you...
Permanently broken.
Yeah. Yeah, permanently broken, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so... you kind of play...
I'm still going to make a fair roll.
No, I think that's it.
Yep.
Yes. You play a tune kind of Pied Piper-like, and all of these little spiders kind of fall out of Legba. Like, they kind of writhe out of him. They're bursting out of his skin. They're not bothering to come out of his orifices.
Eating their way out of his skin and running away.
And running away. Then you're out of the dream that you were in. You're sort of standing sort of just outside of Holstein's offices, which is where you'd started this walk down the road. There's obviously Legba and Arnsworth are both kind of lying on the ground, broken and defeated. Not dying, but definitely broken and defeated. And all of you are standing on the corner. The last thing we need to do then is roll to see whether those
insights and defects are permanent.
And that includes also the physical things. So I think it would be good to roll that. I have never done this, so I don't know how to do it.
So that is when you return to your headquarters, you must determine whether the insight or defect becomes. They're on page 88.
Thank you.
88. That's it.
So, after completing a mystery, you must determine whether defects or insights are permanent or wear off. Oh, all right, dude.
Oh, 88 is actually with my bookmarkers. You know, the ribbon.
All right, cool. On a failure, so you've got to make a
physical and mental recovery roll.
So, number of dice used for physical recoveries are your physique and precision together, and the mental is logic and empathy. So you're just going to make a roll. I've got to make a logic and empathy. If I fail, I lose the insight. If I succeed, I gain it, and the same thing for my mental one.
But for mental, logic and empathy.
So defects, you have to spend the point to remove the defect. Insights, you spend the point to keep the insight.
Yeah. So you just got to get the dice. I just got to roll the die roll on the. So
same with you, Atlanta. You also have a physical condition. So you can.
I got 7 dice for both.
Physique and logic. That's right.
yeah.
No, sorry, that's not.
It's physique and decision, or logic and empathy.
Well, that's an extra die anyway. Sorry.
But with 3 successes, I think we're safe. So no defect, no permanent defect for Atlanta.
Okay. So I will roll for the insight first.
Yep.
Okay.
I did get the insight.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to roll from a defect. I'm hoping I'm going to keep this defect.
Hold on. Stop. There was something about if you had multiple.
Yeah, you got to make.
I thought there was something specific about if you had.
No, I didn't know. I've never come across that because I have actually done this before when I was running.
If you gain both physical and mental insights or defects, you make a physical recovery roll and a mental recovery roll. Okay, I misread it.
Yeah,
okay,
cool. I'm saying. So this is my physical recovery roll. So I'm hoping
you get the insight.
This. I did. So I lose the defect, and I got the insight.
Yep.
Okay.
So once per session, you can add 3 dice to stealth.
To my stealth roll.
Cool.
And
I'll be on
What about
9 dice for stealth. Not bad.
Once.
Did you do a
Once
mental
per session.
recovery roll?
One roll.
Yeah, he did the mental recovery and he made it.
Yeah.
For me, we rolled.
Yours isn't permanent.
Okay, so I don't need to roll. Okay.
No, you that was only for the adventure.
No, it was he has a defect. He still has to roll for the defect.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. All right, so yes, it's a mental defect.
It wasn't chronic.
Okay,
so combine your logic and your empathy.
Logic and empathy.
Dice.
3 or 3, so 6 dice. 1, 2,
Yep.
3.
You got to get a 6,
2,
otherwise you get the defect.
Yeah, 2 sixes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll keep.
So no permanent effect.
Yeah, must go.
So you guys, wow. So you guys did well.
So I have the living dead is my insight.
That goes so well, actually.
It really does. It's so suitable. And on that note,
So just at one point, you do count mental conditions against your fear roll.
oh,
I thought you did.
It made no difference to me. I failed everything. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, one dice. So.
all right.
I think
So
it's watching.
yes, we did that wrong. On that note, then you find yourselves back at the armory. And we close the scene with the Baron, for now, somewhere.
vanished. And we will tell Samuel all about it.
Yes, the lieutenant. Thank you.
Yep.
Captain Samuel. Sorry, Captain. Yeah, cool. End of session.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Well done.
Great.
Actually, I can't believe you all survived this.
I'm surprised I survived.
It was funny. I thought you guys were gone at least twice in the last
Yeah, well, John saved us.
He did.
Once.
Both times even.
Yeah. He's a hero.
He's a hero. So that's just a note in case we should pick these characters up again when the sun moves into
Alignment.
a more
Cosmic
into a more
alignment.
aligned area. 5 XP, so one skill, one talent, whatever you choose to buy.
Good stuff.
I'm going to buy investigation.
I don't know yet. I'm just going to buy XP.
Holstein never actually plays the record. The record was destroyed in the office fire.
Cool.
Holstein does take over the Perkins Blue Moon Gramophone Company, and Atlanta does finally land a permanent job until he loses it. Which will inevitably happen from what we know about Atlanta.
Yeah.
John, you find it very easy to collect stories around travel down south. You definitely feel like people are very happy to talk to you about stories. You feel maybe even slightly blessed in regards to the collection of stories. It's not a big thing, but people just feel very comfortable telling you their stories.
Cool.
And you find that
Nice.
easy to collect.
But don't steal their stories.
Yeah. I will credit them.
Yeah, you do feel like crediting them's a really good idea. Father Legba swears off ever calling on Anansi again.
Didn't work out very well.
He's not actually part of your
No, he's not an Orisa.
of deities.
No, he's not an
and
Orisa.
you don't think you want, like, he's not a kind god. He's in no way a kind god. His idea of teaching is usually through bad experiences being the way.
That was a bad experience.
That was a bad experience. And Winthrop, you do indeed get a very generous donation from Holstein
Goody.
to the community practice that you kind of run on the side.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank
Can I
you
take-
one and all.
Can I
Oh,
take
sorry.
famous
What's
Yes.
within
Famous.
the music industry?
Within the music industry, yeah, for
that?
sure.
So your renown goes up.
You're an
My manipulation goes up, but
Yeah.
You're able to trade on your access to a recording studio, and you are actually the gatekeeper on who gets recorded.
But
So
who's the keymaster?
that's definitely the woman who runs it for real. And that's the end of the session. Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much.
running it.
Good story. Good story.
I really hope we got some more for later on in the year.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at.
Celestial bodies.
I did think you guys might be getting to a point where you would actually want to hunt down the people who had started this whole thing off, the people who had been stealing the energy of the people, and the fact that Atlanta specifically mentioned it in this session. But I'd been reading, there's another story, it's not in Harlem Unbound, it's in, I think, Nameless Tales, which has a similar vibe, a slightly different methodology, but a similar vibe, and I thought that would be a good follow-on story, like, because they're not going to give up. You destroy
So we finished Harlem Unbound, have we? We finished all the ones in Harlem
No,
Unbound?
there's still one or two more, I think.
Okay.
There's Your Name in the Book, which we haven't played. We haven't played Whispers of Harlem, but I ran it for another group. Yeah, there's still quite a few actually, because you played Harlem Hellfighters Never Die, you played Jazz Craze, and you played Dreams and Broken Wings.
Yeah.
So the Contender, A Love Story, Ode for the Lost, Whispers of Harlem, Your Name in the Book are still outstanding. But the adventure, the adventure I was reading explicitly ties in really neatly to
the third.
Ode for the Lost. Like, it's a good bookend story.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I thought that would be a good one to run
So we
next.
reconvene, you said in October.
October.
Yeah, unless I decide that 5 a.m. starts are doable, in which case we might do that.
Yeah, you just have to
actually-
come over for UK Games Expo and we just do it live.
Yeah.
yeah, you haven't had your European trip after all.
No, that's now officially next year. Yeah. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. Shall we say goodbye to the stream then?
Yes.
There's not many people.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hang on.
It was a very lovely adventure.